fix this.
Okay, you're good. So, 1 minute, guys.
Password.
Alright, go ahead. So, hello and welcome to the Zeus gameplay reveal on Livestream. By way of introduction, Zeus is our recently announced multiplayer DLC. It's the real-time creation of scenarios based around the idea of a game master. It's free to everyone that owns Arma 3, and we hope to deploy it sometime after the last campaign episode or around Q2 later this year. So, over the next 90 or so minutes, we're going to take a look at some Zeus gameplay, maybe explore this idea of what a game master is, how it relates to Arma 3, and answer some of your questions. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce who I'm with today. So, to my left is Carol.
Hello.
He's lead designer on the Zeus DLC. He's joined by Philip.
Hello.
He's the guy responsible for programming this thing. Behind me is Yaris.
Hello everyone.
That's his project lead on Arma 3. To my right is Thomas.
Hello.
He's the senior designer currently working on a campaign. And beside him is Cornel.
Hello.
He's brand and PR manager. So I'm Jay. I'm creative director on Arma 3. And I'm joined by a whole bunch of other volunteers from our dev team who are going to show us some multiplayer Zeus in action. See what it's really all about. So that's your cue, guys. Let's get set up.
The battle stations.
So while the guys are moving next door and getting set up, maybe you can give us a quick overview of what Zeus is and what it's all about.
So hello again. So what Zeus is? Zeus, firstly, it's a free multiplayer DLC which we're working on now, and in it we're introducing the role of game master. Anybody who played Dungeons and Dragons will probably know the details. A player who's master of the mission, who's inventing stories for others, who's directing the mission on the fly. For it, we prepared a 3D real-time editor, which he can use and view the battlefield from eagle's eye. The whole system is also planned to be fully moddable, so our strong and dedicated community can not only play it, but also adapt it to their missions, expand it, or completely, for example, rewrite it.
Cool. So I think I can see our guys joining the server. So maybe we can start the mission.
Well, yeah. What the mission is about? Please start. This mission is we call it Game Master mode. So, for example, we may have sector control or deathmatch. So this is mode along these lines, and the rules in it are that there are no rules. You're starting with absolutely blank canvas, and yeah, move forward, please, to maybe Pergos. That's set to capital. I think it could be pretty cool. And you can see already a vast terrain of Arma 3, Altis, 270 kilometers square, all at our disposal. I think you're going the wrong way.
Our own programmer is lost.
Yeah. To that we can open a map and, for example, switch there directly.
So where do we begin? So we're in the curator, the Zeus point of view. What's the first thing that needs to happen now?
Well, obviously we need to get players to the game, so we need to give them a respawn point. So we now put there some simple module, and now we will see players already spawning. But maybe this daytime is not that great. Maybe a little evening and some fog could be interesting. What we see there, or what already appeared, is editing zone. So these blue borders are telling us that we can edit around players. So, for example, we can't just build a tank in front of them, which would be a little unfair. So we have a powerful tool, but also it means that we cannot abuse it.
Mm-hmm. So far we've given the guys a respawn point, so somewhere to begin. They've joined and we're about to create a mission for them from the Zeus point of view.
Precisely. So players are there, and what we need to do is to give them objectives, so otherwise they would be just wandering around. Mm-hmm. What about the military graveyard? It should be behind you. It could be quite a spooky place left from you, I believe. Like, it's a large terrain, so one can get lost in it very easily. So we can see the evening, the fog, it's really sort of a horror atmosphere. So maybe I don't know, maybe they could destroy something. It's always satisfying. What about AAA side? I don't know, some anti-aircraft artillery.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I know, it's very simple to do. So we created objective. Players will be now on the way. So we should actually create some AAA.
So in this particular mode,
Arma.
it's a really very free form. So the players started, and we've just given them all an objective.
Maybe not straight in the graveyard. It would be a little rude. So maybe next to it. Maybe behind it, so they have to cross it. That would be quite interesting. Oh, what we saw actually was Eagle. That's not just gimmick stuff. The Eagle is circling Zeus's camera, so players on the ground, if they see and hear Eagle, that's a hint that Zeus is nearby, and they'd really have to basically behave.
So from the player's point of view, what's going on in the mission now?
Well, let's take a look. Maybe we could also give them some tasks that they shouldn't raise enemies' alarm. That could be interesting. So they should sneak around and not just engage combat.
I suppose while we're looking at what the players are doing, they're surrounded by some sort of border. But it's related to a question from Reddit. One of the guys, Sangustan, he asks, well, in the teaser we saw something that looked like a force field around the players. What is that? Does it limit where Zeus can edit, or what's its purpose?
Yeah, like in this mission, as I explained, it limits the area that we cannot edit around players. But it's all mission based, so there can be mission, for example, sector control. There can be Zeus capturing, players will be capturing sectors for Zeus, and every sector would unlock a Zeus a new editing area. Or maybe there could be mission without this limitation whatsoever. If you trust your Zeus, maybe you can create mission without it. So all of this is driven by mission and by mission designer, how he decides to configure it.
So in this particular game mode, Game Master, the players have a little exclusion zone around them, and Zeus can't put things in here. His job is to create objectives on the fly, make compositions, place units for them.
Yeah, for presentation purpose, we are playing with something we call God mode in this, that everything we have now is unlocked and it's for free, but you see the yellow bar on top. If we wouldn't be playing with this God mode, then everything we include would cost something, and if we would basically the bar would disappear, then we couldn't build anything. Of course, now we want to really showcase it properly.
And in this situation, there's just one Zeus. But there was a question on our forums. Actually, one of our moderators, Mayonnaise, he asked, is it possible to have multiple game masters?
Again, it's based on mission. There could be as many game masters as a designer will configure it. Right in this mission, we are playing a solo game master, so we have to both create new stuff and at the same time we have to maintain the stuff. So for example, now we're creating like new objective, and we will activate it only later on. And the thing is, we have to still make sure that we're following players, and then we have to remember to reactivate it. On the other hand, this mission, it has second Zeus role. It's not currently filled. So if we are admin, then the other guy would be more like moderator. He cannot build new stuff by default, but he can modify our stuff. So for example, we build tank platoon here, or then a fire team there, and we move forward to move some new stuff. Meanwhile, he maintains his following player, and he would maintain that their experience is not too difficult, not too easy.
So in this mode, we just have one Zeus, but it's possible to have multiple and even have different kinds of roles. So you can have one that's creating mission flow for the players, and another one maybe creating compositions and then setting things up.
I can even imagine something from War Conflict, for example, one Zeus for ground units, one Zeus for air units. The possibilities are endless.
Well, that relates to another question a few people have asked, but I noticed one on Reddit from Prodigal27. He asks, is it possible to create presets of objects or compositions? Because here we see Philip is just placing things on the fly. Is there any way to maybe create something beforehand and put it down?
Did you place the AAA? Maybe we could show actually placing some small fire teams. So now we are in the, you could see on top right, there's like unit tabs and group tabs, so we can insert multiple soldiers at the same time. This is feature already available in 2D editor. But did you place some patrol around AAA? That could be beneficial as well. So, but these are only AIs, and right now what's not possible in this beta build, but what we really want to include later on is compositions of empty objects. So for example, a roadblock or some small FOB, forward operating base. So you wouldn't need to place sandbag by sandbag, and you would just one click and it would be all there. And ideally, even later on, these would be like pre-configured by us or by some add-on, and ideally we would want that, let's say you spend some time creating nice composition and you don't want to rebuild it every time again, so you would just select it and save it to your presets, and it will be saved to your profile, and it will be available in every further Zeus game.
Cool. So not right now, but maybe soon.
Yeah, definitely. There's, like I said, this is beta build, and we have it can do very like core stuff, manipulation objects, a lot of like game mission flow, maintaining mission flow, but there's still a lot to do, and we have some specific roadmap.
Well, I can see here that we had, you know, a bunch of the default units in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Like Arma 3 has a lot of, you know, range of units and vehicles and helicopters and whatnot. That all comes sort of by the vanilla game by default. What about you know, custom add-ons, custom units and vehicles? Is that supported by Zeus?
Again, completely based on mission. Let's say you install some cool add-on of a tank or a weapon. It won't automatically appear in all Zeus missions because it could easily unbalance them. But then mission maker creating any scenario can download that add-on and decide, okay, I will configure it for my Zeus mission, I will unlock it, I will assign its cost, and then Zeus will have it available.
So Zeus is something like, you know, a framework that people can plug into, that they can use their own mods and make their own missions based on what they like playing with.
Bohemia Interactive making games fully moddable since 2001.
Respect. Cool. So what's going on now in the mission? Where are we?
Well, the players are slowly approaching. Did they already encounter some patrols, or did they? It seems they have managed to maybe turn the vehicle back. They don't expect it. So they're slowly approaching. They have tasked to remain stealth. So it seems they are approaching very slowly. They are covering their sectors.
So you can give AI units their own objectives and waypoints on the fly.
Precisely, and even in the editing zone, while I can't create anything there, I still can give waypoints there, so AI would put their... It seems they cross the road, they split into 2 fire teams, and let's see if they... Oh yeah, we've put there now birds, so...
Because why not?
Yeah, like, you know it from movies that you're approaching some stealth location.
Because they're under fire.
Oh yeah, and they were spotted. So let's see now how they adapt. Yeah, back to birds. It's like, you know, from movies, you scare some flock of birds and they will fly in the air and warn players.
So just what we saw there was Philip changed the mission flow. Their task was to stay undetected. The AI found them. That's a custom objective that is given that he's failed for them. So the guys on the ground now know that they failed it. And what happened to the guy that died?
Maybe first we could fail the objective.
So he starts back at the respawn point.
Yeah, we could now, for example, decide to move the respawn point further, or if players would really struggle, we can, for example, mark one player to be a respawn point. So you would, for example, respawn on a leader. Yeah, now inserted a respawn point to this small camp. But let's see if they will flee from the vehicle or if they attack it. Maybe send it at them again. Oh, nice. So they've got ATI with them. So it seems they adapted quite well.
And what about taking over control of the AI yourself? Like we just gave a waypoint to a hunter. Is it possible to, you know, embody the AI on the fly? You know, let's say you want to take over being a sniper, do something very specific that the AI maybe can't do? Yeah,
it would be, imagine scenario, I place a marksman and then switch to him and snipe player from distance. Definitely on the list. Again, in this beta build, it's not yet available. We still didn't figure out precisely how it should be controlled. There are several variants, but yeah, it's on the list. It sounds really cool.
So,
and a bit unfair, imagine you place a helicopter, switch to it, and totally spam it, place with rockets.
So, to answer Gonza's question on the forums, that you can't take over the AI right now, but it's certainly something that we really want to see in the game. We think it could really make some cool gameplay with that.
But yeah, and it's not powerful because you take control of AI, but at the same time you would lose this big picture you couldn't control. So even players would know that they are not under basic Big Brother couldn't see them. So maybe if they were warned, they could even exploit the fact.
And what about, well, Alias on our forums asked, is it, so far Zeus seems to maybe not have a physical presence in the world, but can he be a player in a mission and switch back and forth into this point of view, or how does that work?
Well, right now in this mission, could you maybe see what they're doing? In this mission, we are more of a virtual entity. We are divine presence above the battlefield, untouchable, unkillable. Obviously, and the thing is, we can now leave the interface. But since the system was fully moddable, then it can work even with normal soldiers. Always one player can control Zeus, only one can have always access. So, but it can be even normal soldiers. So imagine in a mission, you're playing with your friends in a fire team, for example, one of them. And then the mission designer prepared the mission, so you can anytime switch to Zeus interface. Like, let's say you're playing, you find it, oh, this is too easy, we need some proper challenge. Yeah. So you switch to Zeus, put there some helicopter or another fire team or even a tank, switch back, and you continue playing the mission. Zeus can be even, it can be now tied to specific player role, so in multiplayer lobby you assign yourself to the role, but it can be also tied to server admin. So only he would have access to Zeus interface wherever he is. Okay,
so in summary, in this particular mode we have here, we're just a divine presence, not part of the battlefield. But depending on how a mission maker wants to set it up, you can go back and forth between different places.
Precisely. Yeah.
So what's happening right now? What did we just see there?
Where are the players? They seems to stuck on the fortress. Maybe they're expecting some bigger attack. But no, it's actually they're moving to the airport, to the graveyard. Yeah, their task is to destroy AA. Once they destroy AA, we're planning to give them some air support, so create a helicopter, which will help with final attack at Kyrgyz. But since there's some surprise on the way, those are soldiers in the buildings.
Which you have a real fine control of placing individual units that hide the orientation.
Precisely. One cool thing which we may show also later, now we actually group soldiers, so the AI is more efficient, they will share targets, maybe some empty vehicles to warn player that there's some surprise ahead. One thing which I added, and for example, it could be easily broken if you, for example, took a vehicle and our soldier and move him like 50 or 100 meters in the air. Yeah. So, but maybe, well, that may be a bit too much. Maybe they would expect it to be. Oh, you destroyed the vehicle. Oh yeah, Zeus can delete every object, but he can also, by pressing single key, destroy it. Now, but how we now explain why is there a burning vehicle? Who destroyed it? That's a question. Because Zeus, while he has full power over the mission, he should still, ideally, if he wants to follow the military approach, he should still think about the logic. So now we better explain to players why is there a burning vehicle.
So in this Game Master mode, the objectives are made by us, but what about other modes? Like, is there any more structured sort of activity that Zeus has to do or that the players have to work with?
Well, one thing I implemented is sort of Zeus challenges. By the way, it seems, oh yeah, this is smart. It seems that he created some dead bodies, and the story is that another fire team was probably with its own mission was ambushed.
So he's making like a story on the fly based on what the players are doing at the moment.
Precisely.
But getting back to the kind of modes, like outside of this sort of very unscripted, make your own story sort of game mode, the Game Master mode, what else? What other options are there?
In the missions, we have a system of Zeus challenges, where even he has missions of his own. So imagine he starts with not with everything unlocked like we have now in God mode, but he would have, for example, I don't know, soldiers and vehicles, and he would have to complete his own challenges to unlock more stuff. And those challenges could be like, for example, let players destroy specific type of vehicle, like a tank or a ship, or let players shoot from a sniper rifle. And then he would have to, for example, then put their vehicle and give objective to players to do it, or you have to put their like sniper team, so they would loot the bodies and take the sniper rifles. And then once they complete these challenges, Zeus would get new stuff and new set of challenges.
So this is one sort of game mode where Zeus himself has some specific sort of unlock challenges to do.
Yeah.
It's quite...
Suddenly a beer.
Is my voice getting a bit dry?
Yes. And we are in the Czech Republic,
Yeah,
so that should be
benefit.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's what he's here for.
Maybe we could give them even objective that investigate Bravo team. It's always Bravo who gets into trouble.
Well, if you played Flashpoint, you know that.
Yeah. However, would CSAT Arma use Bravo? What's CSAT phonetic alphabet? That's a question.
That's terrific.
Advantage. Now we're putting the objective. Advantage of these objectives. You see that we put their title and then map marker and for description, but also the recent category. You don't need to write tasks every time again. We're trying to streamline the control. So now when you show the recent list combo box, you see all tasks we created before are now saved, and we can get to them even in the SF presently. So any further game, even after exiting the game and returning to it next day or next week, you would still have those tasks, and you could then quickly create objectives. This is custom objective, which you have to complete by yourself. But you can see on the right there's like attack, defend, or move objective, and you just place them. And you can forget about them. They will complete automatically based on conditions. So like move objective means players reach the area and it will complete it automatically. And attack and defend means that when players neutralize all enemy opposition, then they will capture it.
Well, what I like about that is because like Arma 3 has always been this big sandbox of things to play with, and people have made their missions co-op, multiplayer.
Put their birds again.
This mode seems to be able to really cater to that kind of mission maker, someone that wants to make missions for his friends, either play alongside them or play against them.
Yeah, and we're not playing co-op scenario. Of course, you can play in PvP scenario. So imagine you start with this blank canvas, and you just put 5 sectors, you put their countdown, you put their respawn tickets, and you got sector control. And then you just worry about some compositions or effects. You can play even audio like alarm or battlefield sounds, which sadly didn't get to this build. So imagine distant fire or distant artillery.
I have contacts.
Oh yeah, let's see them. They don't seem expect any opposition in the buildings. Maybe the guy on balcony could stand up.
So the AI we
Oh,
placed,
too late.
So the AI we've placed is just dynamically reacting to the players, and the players are moving here to do what exactly?
Yeah.
Where's the AA vehicle?
It's further ahead. Now because we had this destroyed vehicle, it was like stored that the Bravo team got into trouble. So maybe we can complete the objective. So we investigated. Mission well done.
Cool. So we have tasks that update for all of the players. Even join in progress, that sort of thing. Like
Precisely.
we have, so this is like a module that you place in Zeus. But is that also in the rest of the game, like task modules and stuff?
Precisely. Most of these modules, like all of these modules you actually see, are includable in editor. And the thing is, if you have real-time editor or normal editor, it would be quite a waste of resources if you were to do some functionality just for one of them.
Mm-hmm. So it benefits the whole game with these modules that you've been developing.
Precisely. You can see now it's getting dark, so when players move to the city, there will be a lot of lights from street lamps. Like Zeus can anytime switch time. Obviously, it would be not natural. What I want to do there is to black out screen and write there like several hours later. So even when we would switch it during the mission, it would look sort of like it's intended. It's part of the gameplay.
But weather and time is synchronized across multiplayer and for join in progress.
Yes, but it's still not automatically. Our programmers are looking at the issue right now, and there's scripted proof of concept for that. In this mission, it's synchronized, so whatever Zeus says, every players will see. Definitely, we're looking into proper implementation. Daisy implemented it some time ago, and players wanted it for a long time, so it's logical that it should work like that.
Work in progress.
Maybe some green cam lights on the graveyard to give the proper spooky atmosphere.
So we've seen you placing entities, being able to manipulate them, rotate them, creating objectives, succeeding and changing those objectives. What else would you say is like a really core part of what Zeus has to offer?
Well, the fact that you can build a whole story, not apart from tasks, you can also add a diary item, so you can really explain missions to detail. Which sadly can't be shown here because it didn't get to this beta build as well as like Intel object. So you insert some, I don't know, document file or photo, you give it some picture, like for example satellite picture, and players can go and grab it, collect it. So you can.
So it's
have
a real
mission.
like story building tool.
Precisely. It's like you can use it for more gameplay focused scenarios. As I explained, more like sector control, or you can have it really story co-op, do tasks like travel.
So
So
what kind of level of detail can we have? Like we've placed some AI soldiers. What can we do with them after we put them? Can we edit them? You know, can we move them around, delete them?
yeah, like right now we can even set the stance, rank. We can even increase their skill. So let's say I put their Miller from campaign, I increase his skill to max, and he will do sort of boss fight. Of course, it's Arma, so we don't really do boss fights. Every time we tried it, and one of the players arrived, throw a grenade, and we didn't even notice it was boss fight. And as we can see, we can like those respawn, so we can insert the vehicle, set it respawnable. So every time it gets destroyed, it appears again on whenever we reset it.
Cool.
So, yeah, seems player and let's see how they'll combat the actual AAA vehicle, because that one.
So it seems the our guys have split into 2 fire teams, and
Yes.
they're approaching the objective
Quite tactically, yeah.
quite well.
Yeah, like if they would be spread too much, like the thing is, this editing area is only about leader. So even if one player would wander away, then Zeus could
Maybe be in trouble.
yes. This whole area is adjustable in mission parameters. So yeah, if you're playing with your friends and you trust your Zeus, you can disable this area completely.
Yeah, I suppose it's a question of like, you know, what happens if you have a Zeus that's a complete troll with a blade?
Sure.
He's just like putting blades in the air, sending down bolts of lightning. Like, how do you really, you know, deal with that? I mean, do we sort of trust people to have a good Zeus, a benign god?
As I mentioned, this area can be modifiable, and the cost, like, oh, it seems the AAA is really honing them.
So what we've seen is
What we see is anti-aircraft gun being used against infantry.
so maybe a little unbalanced. So now we can see something's happened in the mission.
But wait, it's
Maybe we can react to that and.
well, it's like
Change
Jurassic
the course,
Park.
yeah.
It's like a clever girl. You can see AAA is attracted by this group, but the other group on left may actually take advantage.
Why is it
of
always Clamats that's getting killed? That's Clamats is our
Maybe we could
AI
now
program.
we could maybe move the respawn point a bit further so he doesn't appear all the way back, or create a new respawn point. Ah, it was too late for him though. So maybe some civilian vehicle somewhere parked. It could be. Oh, we don't have unlocked civilian. Oh yeah, we have. So maybe a little bit further on his way where they didn't explore it yet. So maybe here on the left. No, a bit further away from this. Like, they already have been to this location, they know it. So maybe somewhere here. And yeah, he might actually. I would limit fuel so he don't trouble too much. Yeah, we can even decide to lock it, which of course is no purpose now. No respawn, it doesn't. It's just once time. He just didn't know. They have now respawn point.
Philip is the game master. He can do whatever he wants.
I'm game master.
Stop ordering him around.
I'm game master of game master. Wait, what is Zeus? What is it? Titan?
Meta master.
Greek mythology. Did they destroy AAA? It's still destroying them. Yeah, just this close to air support. Maybe we could meanwhile quickly create some forces in the town. I think this is not enough. Like, our task is to destroy AAA, helicopters will go in and players will attack the town. Advantage of towns is that players can't see really much further ahead, so we can be really creating stuff very close to them. And we can now put their patrol, so not only waypoints you can include, but also cycle waypoints. So you can just put waypoints and then waypoint which will tell the group to repeat the cycle all over again.
So you have quite a fine detail of control over the AI in his mission.
Yeah. Right now we can't give, for example, in this beta build sadly there's no possibility to order AI to move into vehicle or out. That's definitely on the list. Like that would be missing so much. So we are planning to add it in upcoming weeks, and definitely for full release it should be there. So now we have some patrols. Meanwhile, let's get back to players. On top, we can see also compass, and below it there are three values. The one on the left is time since the beginning of the mission. The one in the middle is current daytime. Oh, so they destroyed a AAA.
Nice.
So let's complete it. Oh yeah, eventually I would want actually objective, which you would be able to synchronize the vehicle and really get completed automatically.
So from the player's point of view, they were given an objective at the start, go and kill this AA vehicle. Yeah. They moved there, fought some people along the way, and completed their objective.
Yeah, if you switch to map now, actually, so now we created attack and defend objective. We can
so just one module placed there creates all of these.
Precisely, and this one is completely automatically. Once they neutralize the position. Good thing about sector objectives is that you can quickly teleport to them. So, for example, we are here, and I can quickly click on this sidebar on right, and I can quickly then switch between sectors. But now AAA is gone. What about air support? So I think they deserve some proper firepower. So I think Blackfoot could be a good idea.
Not Comanche?
It's Blackfoot.
Oh.
So we just one. I think it will be enough. And now we just rise it in the air, and it automatically starts its engine, and let's send it there. But also, I would still put there some AA soldiers, so...
Won't make it too easy.
Yes. Well, it's got countermeasures, so it can survive.
So, getting back to
I'd put there some vehicles, definitely.
Getting back to the sector control, Carol, I noticed some of these icons we've seen before in some of our game modes. So, how does what you're working on now affect what we've already released, the Defend or the Seize missions?
So, people might know that already in editor... Sorry, vehicles, I mean proper vehicles like APCs. Like already in the editor, there's a sector module, and when you put it there, configure what sides are competing for it, and other parameters, and already you start playing, and it will appear on the right. So you might know it. Every major multiplayer game has it, like list of sectors, and when you get near, it will show capturing bar. And then you will see how much you are in progress, basically taking the sector. So if there will be more of those sectors, sorry.
No, Matt Lightfoot was just...
Oh yeah, right, we actually inserted Blue for helicopter.
Hope he doesn't return as a zombie.
Yeah, that's... I must admit, sometimes confusing for me. I'm so used to playing, like for example, campaign as Blue 4, and then I'm doing Zeus as Op 4, and then I will send you this epic reinforcement. Here, have Blue 4 tanks. It's like, whoops.
Not quite what I meant.
So, yeah, I think K-Man will be quite epic. I think it's already engaged. Oh, they're quite sufficient engaging. Yeah, but yeah, put there.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And, oh yeah, Tracer's module could be fine. Like, you can create ambient combat. So it's sort of fake it that now, like, there's anti-air fire.
So you have some tools to create, like, a sense of the mission, the atmosphere of it.
Precisely.
You can change the time of day and the weather conditions, but then also put some music and some traces. And
yeah,
such.
so now we put our sound of distant firefight or explosions.
I suppose that helps keep, you know, you don't have to put too many entities in the scene to make it really feel alive. So we can keep the frame rate, you know, hopefully chugging along quite nicely.
I don't want to say...
creating a feeling of a bigger battle.
Yeah, I think feeling is the right word. I wouldn't go as far to say fake it, but because we obviously don't fake it. Oh, nice. But yeah, it creates ambience, and it's really cool to put atmosphere. Plus, you know, you can see it's getting dark. Oh, you can see Eagle at bottom left. But when it's getting dark, of course, Zeus can switch to different vision modes. So we've got night vision at our disposal, and we can, for example, even have thermal vision.
Well, I think it's definitely something we want to emphasize is that this isn't a DLC about just Zeus, what he can create. It's also about making a new sort of gameplay experiences for the players themselves, and things like this, the post-process, the music, the weather. These all help the players have a really cool experience themselves.
Shows flares in thermal perhaps? Oh yeah, now flares, like enemy or alarmed. Yeah, it's very alarmed because it's getting totally destroyed.
So overall, what we've seen so far... Suddenly, Cornelius.
Yeah, sorry, just the end there. But maybe because we have some people, quite a few people who are like joining right now, so maybe we can summarize some of the highlights or the basic points.
Okay.
So what's happened so far in this mission?
Battle has happened. So players started far away from the city. In the evening there was still light. They got tasked to destroy AAA post anti-aircraft artillery. Even with obstruction we gave them in the path. They succeeded, and when the sky is safe, we send their helicopter. So players are now attacking the city. They have to capture it with air
So
support.
basically, we've dynamically given the players some objectives, placed some enemies for them again ourselves.
But enemy could have now actually some surprise. Maybe we could put there some mortars, a mortar post, and we could shell players.
And we've sort of changed and adapted the mission to how the players.
And we can give them some secondary objective: destroy mortar encampment. So I think it's in static.
In the meantime, like there are a few recurring questions in the Twitch chat. The first question, and I think we answered it already, but can there be multiple Zeus in one multiplayer session?
I think we already mentioned that, that there can be this mission Zeus, and then there could be moderator who maintains the mission. Oh yeah, now.
So you could have competitive Zeus again, Zeus playing against each other for different sides.
It could
we can have players on the same team helping each other. Maybe one make compositions, the other one does the mission flow.
No, two players.
So overall, yes, multiple Zeuses. It's up to the mission designer to make it however he wants.
Now we're shelling players, but the explosion is not immediate. You can hear audio warning, and also what we don't see here is that players get warning from their base, like we've got incoming fire to your position, so they are warned, and you can see they are now actually spreading around. And now we should give them the optional task, destroy a mortar camp.
And one other question I saw several times is Zeus, does it only work with ground forces?
Well, we already inserted a helicopter, there can be tanks. What's in this beta build is not yet available is underwater editing. We have some visualization problems like icon drawing. We are definitely looking into it.
Cool. So I think that sort of sums up where we've come from in the mission, where we are now. Maybe to handle the rest of the mission, I can hand over to Yaris.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, guys, and I'll see you later.
So now I would update respawn, and maybe what could be interesting, put there some unlocked vehicle, half damage, so maybe they could steal some Ifrit or...
Hello, Carol.
Hello, Yaris.
Thank you for that, Jay, for that initial look at this Zeus scenario.
What if people might now actually in the chat suggest what we should do next? That could be actually interesting. We might pick some really cool idea.
Maybe Cornel can feed us a couple of things from the Twitch chat. Some cool suggestions.
So Fox, suggest us what you would want to see, what you want to surprise players with. Nothing too extreme. We still want to keep it a bit military, but yeah, like we are at your disposal.
That is actually a point that I wanted to reiterate.
Okay.
Like some people, based on the teaser, they were maybe a little bit afraid it would be too supernatural with the lightning, that type of stuff. All of that can be disabled. So in a scenario, you could really focus on more authentic military experience if you wanted to.
And the lightning in most missions is pretty damn expensive.
But it is.
It's proper demonstration of power. It's you telling players, I've got so many resources to spare that I will just schedule a spawn a lightning bolt at you.
And having played quite a few sessions over the last weeks internally, it was really exciting to get the lightning strike near you.
Oh, always this never gets on. Let's see. Did they spot the vehicle?
There it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't spawn it too much. So where's the vehicle? Oh, it's in here. Maybe put marker on it. But Zeus can also insert markers, like normal map markers, so maybe some question mark could be interesting. And we could give it some blue color, bottom left, blue 4 color. So if they would notice it, perfect. If not, they can play mission without it.
Are there other tools like that the Zeus or even the game moderator, the secondary Zeus, can use to just sort of boost the experience? Like, have you talked about music, for example?
Oh yeah, we didn't play the music. Yeah, right. They're now entering the city. It deserves some proper military team. I think they are quite sufficient in destroying enemies, so we will soon need to put there some APC or something. So some action team. Maybe, yeah, what? I don't have preference.
Any track, I guess.
Yeah, some action team.
But having played this as a player, so not the Zeus, it's actually really cool to enter a sort of scenario and then the ambient music starts and you get the feeling, oh, he's about to do something crazy.
Definitely some APC. They are too good in countering infantry.
Yeah.
So not AF, probably blue form. So it's consistent. Marshal could be nice. It's real, so maybe and a bit further away, so they can see us spawning it. Maybe they could start near the office complex. Oh yeah, this could be fine. And let's send it at them.
Another question that I saw in
Look how much killed again.
There was a question whether you could disable the HUD and really get a good view or even take screenshots. Is that
or live stream? Yeah. So it is possible. So by pressing backspace key, we can enter something called screenshot mode. And,
So there it is, yeah.
and it's epic. We can even, when you press, yeah, we select him and press Ctrl F to follow him, and the camera will log it in. Yeah. I think live streamers will love it. Us live streamers love it.
People also asked, again, whether these are human players, like not just Zeus, Philip doing the Zeus mode, but I just wanted to confirm again that yes, in the next room we have a whole bunch of both designers from the Arma 3 team and QA people who are, all these red players there, they are actually human players.
Yes.
And it's a very important part of Zeus, not just curation and being a Zeus, but also being a player who is affected by Zeus.
Yeah, you can see helicopters still engaging targets. Or is it? Yeah, we can switch so quickly move between units. Oh, how much? Maybe there could be some more civilian cars in the streets. That could be interesting.
Could you talk a little bit as well about the like the modding possibilities and reusing this technology to do other community projects? For
well, right now Zeus is completely based on one single module. All parameters, all settings are stored within this module, and you can assign this module to Zeus owner, basically to ours, to player.
Yeah.
But there can be multiple of these modules, and the thing is, the module can be even changed by community, so they can use it for completely different purposes. You can even change user interface. If you want to create something more RTS-like, you might even disable the tree on the left and give it more stylization. Plus adding new content, new markers, new vehicles, that's also...
And it's important that a large chunk of it is actually in the engine, so there's a lot of new scripting commands that could be used for other purposes, maybe using the virtual type player for a spectator mode. Or
the system is like 2/3 engine based and 1/3 scripted, and all those scripted can be of course changed by community. So
this is a good question. People in the live stream, I suppose, were asking whether the Zeus roles can communicate with players, and it's a very definite yes. So how can they do that, Karol?
Well, obviously they can communicate on a global channel. I'm not sure if I implemented. Oh yeah, I didn't implement in this mission. It's not in this mission yet, but in other missions it could be, for example, channels specifically for Zeuses, or we have sector control, for example, prepared when there are two sides. Blue 4 fighting up 4.
So it's a Zeus against a Zeus.
And players versus players.
Yeah.
But the thing is, each of these factions needs to communicate to their own Zeus. So there are special channels dedicated for that, and again, actually create a channel module, so you can really put it into the editor when creating a mission and define this channel will be available for this use, this size.
So that controls the in-game Arma 3 voice over IP, but also the text chat.
Precisely.
But there's another really cool feature that I enjoy seeing. It's the pinging. Can you explain what that does?
Pinging, we saw it on trailer when in the middle of the screen what appeared was this icon of eye with players around it.
With the subtle sound.
Yes, I would love to actually show it, but we found out in the XZ that it got broken in this XZ, so we can't really show it now.
But can you explain it?
The thing is, there's this key dedicated for entering Zeus interface. By default it's Y key, and if you're a Zeus you press it, you enter interface. But if you're a player, you press it and you ping Zeus. There will be visual indication, and this red icon will flash. So you, as a Zeus, you will see that this player wants something. He wants to congratulate you for something, or he's complaining about. No, usually it's because you forget to move respawn, and he just responds far away. It's like ping, 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 ping. And it's a quick mean of communication between Zeus and player. Of course, if you want something more complicated, you can just tell him, or you can just write him. But this single key, and we will bring Zeus's attention.
And I can maybe give an example. We were playing a really cool session in the office last week, where our sandbox design lead, Lukáš, he was playing the Zeus, or the curator. And he was sort of role-playing as a high command. So he wasn't just this abstract entity, but he was communicating with us as if he was back at base and like controlling air support. And at some point we were stuck in the objective. There was way too much armor, and we could ping him, and then he got the clue to give us air support, for example. So there's a lot of possibilities.
Speaking about air support, where is the Cayman? I think it's
idling.
I think it's time to shoot it down. Put there some AA soldiers on the roof, actually. Yeah, it's usually quite tricky to find a place where players can't see anything, and also like it's very easy to get this megalomania complex that you keep adding new stuff, but at some point you need to realize, okay, this was enough, and we need to bring it to conclusion. Because obviously constant action, it can become tiresome.
Yeah, so there's one question that it was asked on the forums by Annex or Enex. Basically, what is our development schedule, like the roadmap, like for Zeus?
Well, we announced that second quarter of this year we will, we're going to release Zeus, and until then we'll be of course developing the further parts which are missing and making sure everything is prepared. And then we'll be getting a lot of feedback from our testers and making sure it's...
one key thing that maybe people are a little bit worried about when we are quite a lot talking about Zeus is this is quite a small part of the team who are working on Zeus. It's Carol and Philip mainly, and then of course QA is helping them test. But we have a whole bunch of people who are still dedicated to the new fixed-wing airplanes, new locations on the Altis map, finalizing the campaign, but also on optimization of the engine. So we have some pretty cool optimizations for general engine, but also for multiplayer coming up. We are testing with official servers the performance optimization and getting that all better.
Like Zeus team, it's 2 people. Arma 3 team, it's 50 or 60 people.
Exactly.
So you guys don't need to be worried that we stopped making optimization, we stopped developing campaign. We can multitask right now.
There's some really big technologies that are coming up this year. For example, we spoke about the workshop support for add-ons, but there's also a bunch of other stuff that we can't yet reveal, but it's big.
So there's one fire team. Where's other fire team actually? Are they? Oh yeah, so it seems they're trying to encircle the place. And the helicopter was shut down already? Ah, such a pity. So now we should probably think ahead and give them perhaps last task to capture the... Oh yeah, now, after this is finished, we could send them some support in the form of vehicles on parachutes, and we can let them attack the base north from here. But we need to prepare the base now. So there's this military base here, so we can put there some small vehicles and some fire team, and it will be final task of this mission, capture Pergos and its surrounding.
And one other way of using Zeus that I really like is here we have the Game Master mode, so it's from scratch and we're building gameplay. But what you could do is make an entire mission in the editor with scripted patrols or events and layer Zeus on top of that. So maybe the Zeus could only adjust the patrol routes, for example. So
yeah,
a lot of stuff is possible.
Yeah, some people like Zeus can be too much, or like creating whole mission. Yeah. It's
a bit daunting of a task.
Yeah, quite big responsibility, and sometimes you would prefer to start with already like battle ongoing.
Yeah,
just
for example.
tweak it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some static guns at the entrance. That's good. Well, but what kind of static guns are they? They're giving them vehicles. I think machine guns really won't do the trick, and you'll be a quite easy target. I would mainly put there a lot of fire teams and mainly vehicles. If they're giving them vehicle, I think we should give them some APC actually later on, so all of them can stick in and they are not separated in 2 teams. Or it should be them 2 ifrits.
Did we get any live stream suggestions of what to do? We had one of the guys asking for a helicopter extraction.
Well,
okay, so
but aside from that, one of the big things was someone asked to see the lightning.
Right. So 2 requests coming from the live stream chat. One was to try to set up a helicopter extraction.
Well, as I mentioned, problem with helicopter extraction is we can't order. Basically, we can't control the crew that well yet.
In this version, that is coming.
But we could still then later on put their helicopter, and they could just order themselves in. That's equal, and lighting will be.
The other big one is to show the lightning again.
Yes.
So we'll probably want to switch away from night vision and back to the normal view mode. Yeah. There we go.
I think a near player so they can see it. I think we could kill something with it. So we could destroy some buildings. Not these office buildings, it would be perhaps... Oh, players are on the roof. So I would put it... They're looking this way, so I would destroy something a bit further away, so here on left. I would just throw it somewhere here.
There it goes.
And maybe a bit from further distance.
One of the other requests was something to do with a power drop or some support. I think that's pretty interesting gameplay to be able to introduce.
So
we are actually about to wrap up this first session from the Zeus point of view, and we're going to switch to playing another session where the stream will show the player's point of view and how it affects them. So maybe you could show that actually the paratrooper if you wanted to.
From the player point of view.
yeah, now it's time to, so let's switch to NVG, and I would give them, so what vehicles we give them? So two Ifrits or one bigger APC, one Marit? I think Marit will, two Ifrits. Okay, so put them somewhere away,
So
and we just put them on parachute.
Welcome back.
yeah.
Not full empty, so the players can use them.
So Karel, before we switch to the player's perspective, could you one time explain again what is Arma Free Zeus?
It's Game Master. Where, well, up to the air. Oh, sorry, we can't move them here because
Let's get
Yeah.
that in a row and you can explain this.
Game Master. Sorry, Zeus is a Game Master system which lets one or more players assume the role of basically a director of a mission and employ the 3D real-time editor and edit and manipulate the mission on fly.
Yeah. So and at that time there's people on the ground playing the game as normal.
And experiencing what Zeus is preparing for them. Oh yeah, so I think we can... It seems there's no time for the attack on the base, so we may actually start the extraction already now.
So maybe one thing to repeat again, Arma Free Zeus is free multiplayer DLC for Arma Free, and it will be available when?
Second quarter of this year. And after campaign or before?
Yeah, so we are first going to be releasing the final episode of the single player campaign, and after that, that comes with fixed wing aircraft, but after that, the full release of Zeus.
So now let's create a helicopter around, send it there, and let players, just one I think will be fine. I think they can I all skis in one helicopter? I think they should. It's 8 of them. But yeah, they should be fine. And then give them tasks to get in the helicopter.
Just a question from Obian. Will Zeus make his wife happier?
Well, that's a trick question because there's, according to mythology, multiple wives and comfort. So I'm not sure all of them, but some of them definitely.
Okay, I think so. We'll wrap this up, and then Thomas, one of the designers of the campaign.
So wait, will we have time to extract them, or should we finish the mission now?
We're going to be finishing this mission, and then we're going to switch to the player point of view. Yeah,
I'll just keep watching from behind.
Thank you, Philip, for that initial look at the curator mode. And now I'm going to actually leave and let Thomas take over to play in a session.
Okay, so
and this time we will have, in our multiplayer team, we will have one of the guys playing the Zeus mode there, and Thomas will be playing as a guy on the ground.
we experience it from below. Sorry for not being able to extract them by helicopter.
That's fine.
Maybe he could create it now for us, and
Exactly.
maybe we could.
Okay, see you guys later.
Okay then.
So